Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Lando from The Snap coming at you with the top 12 defenses for Week 16 and Week 2 of your fantasy football playoffs. Congrats for making it to the next round. Hopefully you have a couple of these defenses on your team that give you that positional advantage. There's a few on here that you can even get off the waiver wire, and that can help you win a fantasy football championship. So smash that subscribe button, like the video, and comment down below. We respond to every single comment. So if you have a start sit question about running backs or wide receivers or defenses to stream, get me in the comments. We respond to every single one. We'll give you the best advice I can to help you win that championship. But now for Week 16, the number one defense, the defense that I think is by far the best this week, is the San Francisco 49ers. Hopefully you have them on your team because they play the Commanders. The thing is with the 49ers is they score so many points, they force the other team to pass, and that results in sacks and interceptions. They have a really good pass rush, and it's a phenomenal matchup for the 49ers. My number two defense is going to be the Buffalo Bills. Now, the Chicago Bears do score fantasy points. However, Justin Fields also takes sacks and he throws interceptions, and that's what you want if you have the defense and starting the Bills. So it doesn't matter if Chicago scores 20 points. I do think that the Buffalo Bills will be able to turn the ball over, force sacks like I mentioned, and really be a solid defense for this week. It's in Chicago, could be some weather, could be some slippery environment, maybe some snow. We will see. It's still too early to see that, but usually the elements are better for turnovers and fumbles. Next, we have the Baltimore Ravens at number 3. They play the Atlanta Falcons. Desmond Ridder did not look great. The Baltimore Ravens have a very good defense. Unfortunately, their offense isn't very good right now without Lamar, so it should be a low-scoring game. I do expect some sacks, but the thing is Atlanta is going to run the ball a lot. That's why Baltimore is not higher. Running the ball does not result in sacks or interceptions. It just doesn't result in anything, pretty much. So to rely on a low-scoring game, that's what you're hoping for here with the Ravens. Maybe if Atlanta needs to pass it, that's going to be better, obviously. My number 4 defense is going to be the Denver Broncos at the LA Rams. So we will see who's at quarterback for the Rams. I'm expecting it's going to be Baker Mayfield, but Denver still has a very good defense. He will give up some sacks, and I think that it's a very solid defense. It's one of the more talented defenses. It is in LA. It's going to be good weather, but we'll see. I still like the Denver Broncos, and you could probably pick them up off of waiver wires as well. My number 5 defense is the Philadelphia Eagles. We see they play the Dallas Cowboys this week, and we see Dak Prescott throw interceptions. Now, I'm not necessarily expecting that this week. It's kind of a high-risk, high-reward play. The Eagles have a very good defense, but they're playing a very good offense. Could be a low-scoring game or high-scoring game, I mean. So you're expecting a pick 6 potentially to really put the Eagles over the top, but they're far from a locked and loaded defense this week. They still make my top 5. My number 6 defense is going to be the New Orleans Saints. Maybe you picked them up last week like I recommended. They had a pretty good turnout. They play the Cleveland Browns. Deshaun Watson still doesn't look like himself. They can still have pressure with Cam Jordan, and I think they're good enough to force some sacks, maybe interceptions as well, because Deshaun Watson just still doesn't look like himself. It could happen this week that he actually is back to where he was a few years ago, but I still think the New Orleans Saints are relatively safe defense to pick up and play again if you did grab them last week. Number 7 is going to be the Dallas Cowboys. They're pretty low down the list. They were banged up last week. There is a chance that Jalen Hurts does not play. He hasn't been ruled out as of yet, but I still think that if he misses, you could bump up the Dallas Cowboys defense a couple more notches maybe. The problem is that the Eagles run the ball so well, even if Gardner Minshew's at quarterback, they're not going to probably make mistakes. Their team is good enough and they won't make the mistakes. They're coached well enough that the Cowboys are a high-risk, high-reward play. It's possible that Gardner Minshew throws interceptions and takes sacks, but the Cowboys defense has not looked as good as they once were early in the season. My number 8 defense is going to be the Tennessee Titans. You might have picked them up already, or you're looking at them as the top waiver out of the week. They play the Houston Texans. Now, we thought that this was going to be a smash matchup because against Cleveland, That was a top scoring 25-point defense, I think, for the Cleveland Browns when they played Houston. The past couple weeks, Houston's looked quite good. They run the ball effectively, but I still think Tennessee is kind of a good desperation ad if you are desperate this week and don't have a good matchup. So I think Tennessee is still fine. It's not great, but I don't know if Houston Texans really are as good as they've been playing lately against the Chiefs and the Cowboys. My number 9 defense is the New York Jets against the Jacksonville Jaguars. So Jacksonville's offense has been very good, but the New York Jets defense is great. So this is a bet on the defense being good rather than the Jags offense not being so good. It's going to have to be a high scoring game. You're going to have to get sacks and interceptions. They're low down the list. I'm fine fading the Jets, honestly, and maybe pick up the Saints if you can. But either way, the Jets defense, hopefully Quinnen Williams is back. I still don't know that. That does make a huge difference for the New York Jets. So stay tuned. Let me know in the comments. I'll know more as the week goes on. My number 10 defense is going to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They play the Arizona Cardinals and possibly a third-string quarterback for Arizona. The Bucs are an older team. They have probably one good half of football in them. They looked really great against the Bengals last week. I don't know if they can put a full game together, but if you can, I do think that the Bucs are a decent ad this week. They might be available on waivers as well because they played the Bengals last week. My number 11 team is going to be the Arizona Cardinals in that same matchup. Tom Brady is not mobile. He takes sacks. His offensive line is banged up. Yes, they can score the football, but he also throws it 50 plus times per game. And like I mentioned, that leads to interceptions, tips that could be interceptions, and sacks. So Arizona has low-key been a very good defense throughout the season. I think they could be even higher on this list. I kind of really like the Cardinals this week if they're available on your waiver wire, or maybe they're going to be dropped because they played the GOAT this week. And my number 12 defense, this was a really tough one. It's going to be the LA Chargers at the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts are without Jonathan Taylor. Matt Ryan is taking sacks, throwing interceptions. The Chargers defense actually looks pretty good, and they're on a bit of a heater. The Chargers are finally looking pretty good, and I know they let Derrick Henry have a pretty good game this past week, but for the most part, they did really well on the ground. So if the Colts are forced to pass the football, that's great for the Chargers. And I think the Chargers are a sneaky little start this week and definitely available on your waiver wire. All right, guys, let me know what I did and what I did right and what I did wrong with my top 12 defenses. Make sure to smash that subscribe button. Stay tuned. We will be live this weekend to help you with any start-sit questions. It's going to be Christmas Eve, and Mac will be with me in studio. All right, guys, thanks a lot. We will see you next time.